Now I want to consider the user interface presets that come with the Unity engine. So here we have the default interface layout, and this simply means that the arrangement of our panels are in the default layout. So we have the Scene tab here at the center. We also have this tab called the Game tab here, and the Game tab simply shows us the view of our level from the perspective of the player. So if the player were to try out our game right now, this is how it would look. And we have the Scene tab and the Game tab arranged side by side on different tabs. On the left hand side we have the Hierarchy panel, here we have the Inspector, at the bottom we have the Project panel, and along the top we have the main application menu. And that's all looking pretty good, but we might not like this layout. Well, thankfully Unity comes with a range of different interface layouts, and I want to show you how some of them work. So if I click and drag here, I just click and select the drop down called the default drop down, I can move down and select some other layouts here. So for example, we have the 2x3 layout. I'm just going to select that. And when I do, you can see we get a 2x3 layout. That is, we get the Scene tab and the Game tab arranged horizontally. And then we get the Hierarchy, Project panel, and the Inspector arranged vertically here. They're the same panels as before, it's just that their arrangement in the interface is different. Again, I could change this from the 2x3 layout to the 4-split layout, and this time I get 4 different versions of the Scene tab. So you can see on the top left one, we have a top view of the level. Again, here on the right hand side, we have the same level, but seen from a different angle. In this case, it's from the front. And in the bottom left, again, we get a view, but this time from the right. And this one here on the bottom right hand side, we get a view that's in perspective. Also here we have the Hierarchy, the Project panel, and the Inspector, all of which we've seen before. I could change this from the 4-split to the default, which we've used already, but we also have the Tool layout. Now the Tool layout gives us a much wider view of the scene. In this case here, we've got a much greater view of the Scene tab, along with the Game tab too. But then we have these kind of shrunken views of the Hierarchy, the Project panel, and the Inspector kind of squished together on this side of the interface. Similar kind of thing here with the wide layout, but this time we have the Scene tab and the Game tab spanning this kind of horizontal layout, with the Project panel and the Hierarchy kind of squished to the bottom of the interface. But I'm going to change this back to the default layout, like so. Of course, I can customize this to my own liking as well. For example, if I wanted to keep pretty much this interface layout as it is, but I wanted to make the Scene tab a little bit larger, I can move to the fringes of the panels here, and my cursor changed to the resize icon, and I can click and drag my mouse to kind of slide that section of the interface over. I can do a similar thing here with the Project panel by moving my cursor to the edge point. The cursor changes to the up and down arrow, and I can kind of drag and move my mouse around to resize the different panels within the interface here. Again, I can drag and drop panels too. So for example, if I wanted to have the Game tab viewed side by side with the Scene tab, I can click and drag the Game tab and effectively move it over to here. So now I have the Scene tab and the Game tab side by side. But I'm just going to click and drag to kind of put that back next to the Scene tab, putting these back in that tabular format. If I do find an arrangement that I particularly like, I can actually save it. I can move up here to the top right hand side where the default drop down is, click on that drop down, and I can choose Save Layout. And in fact, I can give that layout a name. So I could choose, for example, Custom, and then simply choose Save. And that will save my default layout here to that custom preset. So this looks at the basic user interface presets that apply to the Unity interface. Again, here I'm going to be working with the default layout, which effectively keeps these panels in this arrangement that we have here.